Do you know that tax is not as bad as you think it is?
The government have issued a new correspondence regarding that.
Most business owners or most investors just don't like to hear about tax.
Bonds still remains tax-free. Every other investment, fixed deposits, treasury bills, state government bonds, these securities are now being taxed. So this is the sweetest part of the video.
Hello guys, welcome back once again. This is your investment advisor Chuka Nwachukwu. Today we are going to be discussing a topic that most investors don't even like to talk about. Tax. How does tax affect your investment? What are the things you need to know? How can you go around it? What would you need to do in order to incorporate tax into your business? You can only get this info in Investment Talk with Chuka. So FAHAD, today we're going to discuss about tax. You know, most business owners or most investors just don't like to hear about tax
At all.
I think it's something that we need to talk about because tax is not as bad as people think it is. It is a necessary evil, if I might use that word.
Yes. You have to pay.
It's something that you just have to do it.
But you can manage it.
But you can manage it.
Correct.
So, Investment Talk with Chuka will bring to you today how to manage your tax. So FAHAD, can you quickly run us through this new tax law that is being introduced by the government?
Okay, thank you very much, Chuka. If you go back to our previous videos, right, where we were talking about treasury bills and bonds, we mentioned that these fixed income securities, these fixed income investments, that they are tax-free, right? But now the government have issued a new correspondence regarding that. These fixed income securities are now going to be taxed.
Okay.
Short-term securities like treasury bills are now taxed, and there will be a withholding tax of 10% up your interest on investment. Now your upfront interest that will be paid to you, they're going to tax it by 10%. Correct. So that is for treasury bills. And for bonds, bonds still remains tax-free. Okay. Right? Any long-term investment, especially federal government bonds, state bonds are no longer tax-free. Only federal government bonds are now tax-free. Okay. Every other investment, fixed deposits, treasury bills, state government bonds, these securities are now being taxed at 10% withholding tax rate.
Right, even also including corporate bonds as well.
Correct, and corporate bonds as well. So this 10% is on your interest, not on your capital, of course. On the amount that you earn as the interest, 10% will be taken out as withholding tax from that investment.
So because I mean, it's important that we have this conversation because, like you rightly mentioned, one of our earlier video, we talked about advantages of investing in government securities, treasury bills, right, and bonds, right. And I recall that we told our audience and our viewers that government securities are tax-free, right? However, this new development came into play sometime about last week or 2 weeks ago. Here in Investment Talk with Chuka, we always have to update our viewers. So the information about tax-free for fixed income securities is no longer valid except for bond, like FAHAD has explained.
Federal government
federal government bonds. But for treasury bills, this 10% tax will affect treasury bills. But again, FAHAD, how does that affect investment in treasury bills? Okay,
thank you very much. So your net interest would now reduce, your yield would now reduce, you know, by the investment amount, the 10% that you're going to take out. So at the end of the day, your interest, right, the amount you're going to earn as your interest will reduce drastically, will reduce, you know, by just 10%. You understand? So that way, whenever you are about to invest, make sure you put that into consideration, right? When you want to make investment decisions, you know, when you're doing your opportunity cost to see if there are other opportunities that are better for you than this one, right? So you have to put that 10% into consideration. You understand? And aside from this, there are also different, you know, forms of taxations, you know, that comes into securities, because as we're talking about fixed income securities, let's look at the other options also that are also available. All other options are also being taxed. Right? If you have shares, if you go into the stock market, if you have shares, when you sell your shares, you know, you will be charged capital gains tax. You know, on the sales of your share, right? Exactly. So we also have the personal income tax that has been taken out of your salary or out of any income that you earn, right? As an investor also. So any form of investment that brings you return, right, are being taxed, except for those investments that are tax exempt. You know, there are some investments that, you know, that are tax free. You don't have to pay tax on them. Example is this FGN bond that we just mentioned, you know, about. So yeah, you just have to put this into consideration when you're making your investment decision.
Yeah, so basically, I mean, it's also good that we talk about the equity market. We talk about how it affects, how tax affects, because I mean, a lot of people will now feel, oh, okay, T-bills is not taxed. Let's leave fixed income around to equity market. But no way. I mean, it's still, and that's why for me, irrespective of the 10% tax, right, on the T-bill side, I still feel investing in fixed income for me personally is still the better option.
It's more comfortable.
Right? Yeah, it's more comfortable.
Less riskier.
Yeah, less riskier, exactly. And of course, it gives you that flexibility. Correct. When you invest in fixed income security, you are having access to, in quote now, practically a raw cash, right?
Yeah.
In case of any obligations that you need, unforeseen emergency. Yeah. So these are the points that we need to let our viewers know, so that people also will see that, look, it is not just on fixed income. Yeah, it's
cut across.
It goes across everywhere. Yeah. So what can an investor do in order to hedge this tax?
Yeah. So this is the sweetest part of the video, right? This is where I need you all to sit down, bring out your pen and paper, and really take note of this. Yeah. So number one, invest in tax-free investment, tax-exempted investment.
Yeah.
Example, what we just mentioned now, the FGN bond, right?
Bond, yeah.
Where you know that, okay, this particular investment that I'm doing, although it's long-term, but I know I am not paying tax on it, right? This is zero tax. It is zero tax, no tax on it at all. That is one method,
Yeah.
Number two, this is for our brothers in the stock market, right? You should not frequently sell your shares, right? Not frequently trade your shares, because I buy today, I sell. As I sell, my capital gain is going to be taxed.
Exactly.
Then I buy again, I sell again, my capital, when you avoid that frequent, when you hold your position for a longer period of time, right? So when you're paying tax, you would have accumulated the compound interest first before paying tax on it.
Absolutely.
You understand? Number three, reinvest your interest. The power of compounding. We have a video about that, a previous video on the power of compounding.
Absolutely.
Right? So reinvest your interest. So that gives you two opportunities. Number one, any interest that you reinvest cannot be taxed. Right? You reinvest your interest, your dividend, right? That is one. And also it helps you to grow your portfolio as well. You understand? So number one, you are exempting tax, and number two, you are growing your portfolio, which is very, very good for what any investor would want to have. So that's one of the best form of the best methods at which you can manage your tax.
Thank you, FAHAD, because I felt it's important that we do this video so that our viewers will have first-hand information. I know there's been rumor out there, but it's only in investment talk with Chuka that you get the full gist. Everything is broken down to the layman understanding. And so this whole thing about tax is not, like I said earlier, it's not as bad as you think it is. It's something that we can always work around it. Okay. And tax is obviously one of the things that government uses to fund these activities. And then of course use it to raise funds. I think that's the right word.
Increase revenue.
Increase revenues and all that. So thank you for that. Thank you so much. Viewers, you've seen it. Tax. We've brought you what you need to know about tax, and can only be made possible by Investment Talk with Chuka. And by the way, this particular episode of Investment Talk with Chuka is proudly sponsored by Amanda Group. Amanda Group comprises of Amanda Energy and then Amanda Signature. So anytime you're in Port Harcourt, please feel free to stop by. Not just having the best of investment from Chuka, but having the best of food and the best of hospitality from Amanda Group. So guys, till we meet again, this is your investment advisor, Chuka Nwachukwu. Bye bye for now.